Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this Transport Fever 2 series, we're on a mission to deliver every product to every city, building the ultimate transport empire along the way. From trains to trucks, planes to ships. We're optimising every route to make sure no city is left without the goods it needs. So get your cup of tea ready and settle in for another action-packed episode of non-stop logistics. Let's get going. In today's episode, we're going to be having a look at a few different things, to be honest with you. At the moment, we've got a real chokehold in our cargo production, and it's all stems around steel. You can see here that the goods factory has not got enough steel to carry on producing. The machines factory down here, plenty of planks, but again, not enough steel. As soon as a truck drops them off, it's used them before it gets another delivery. So there's a quick fix we can do in terms of this goods factory over here at Hendon, because we did set up this steel little loop in the last route with the vehicles dropping it down, but this train is the first train route that we ever had. For those of you that have been following the series from the start, you'll know that. So it's been here since day one, as we say, and you'll see here it can only carry 56, and at the minute it picks up one resource. So at the minute it's heading up to the coal mine, it'll fill up, drop a full load of coal, come back for a load of iron, and then go back again. So it takes quite a while to get a load of each to the mill. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically kill two birds with one stone here. So we're going to upgrade this route to make it much more productive, I suppose is the correct word, but we're also going to please one of our regular viewers, Danny Cohen. So what I want to do is change this vehicle for one of these. Now I've realised why I haven't seen a lot of the mods. I've been looking under the Steam tab here when looking for trains, but a lot of these big American muscle ones are coming up under multiple units, and this is why I haven't seen them. Now Danny asked us to take a look at these B6SA and B6SB shifters. Now you can see here these ones, there's many different variants here. I've had a quick look through them, and I like this Pennsylvania shifter here with the sort of orangey roof and the sloped tender at the back there. So I think that's what I want to go for here. I want to add this in, and at the minute you can see we're carrying a load of 56. So if we upgrade that, see what we should have now, these new carriages. We do have these that can go at max speed of 50. So let me just double check, what did this go to? So this top speed is only 35, but for the shunting route it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Because what I do want to do also is double up on this line. So I think we'll go for these bigger ones just because they can hold more. I mean, they can hold 8. Or do we just go for 14 and have them completely open? Now we can't use these stake cars. Okay, yeah, of course, it can't carry loose materials within the stakes. Of course, so if we go for these gondolas, we'll check the capacity. What ideally I wanted to do was double this capacity, get up to 100. Now it's going to cost 6 million. But you can see here the tractive effort is 503. The vehicle we've got on here at the minute, the GWR 440, was that 3252. So if we look at that, GWR 440, the 3252, see what that was currently pulling at. GW, the 3252, we can't actually get it anymore. It looks like 600, so it might be a little bit less. Maybe this is a mistake here. Maybe we need to be going more tractive effort here. But I suppose it's only going one way with... I'll tell you what, we'll replace this one, because I do want to look at this train anyway. We'll see if it can... how it goes when it's on its way back uphill. So if we fast forward this down and let it get into the station, then we can have a good look at it. Danny, you've outdone yourself here, mate. That is a fantastic looking mod. I bet that's only going to get better as well as it gets a bit older. If it's one of the mods that does age and you can start seeing bits of rust on it and stuff. That looks incredible, mate, that. I really like that. That looks incredible. Let's see how long it takes it to get up to the 35 miles per hour limit here. 28, 29, will it reach it before it even gets to this station? Because it is a bit of a climb. Yeah, it is going to. It is going to reach it just before this station. But now it's going to be heading all the way up for that coal run. So you know what, I'm happy with that. We'll do the original plan and we'll double up on this route. So this one we'll duplicate. And hopefully he's going straight for the... I'm hoping this guy goes straight for the copper line here. I can't remember which one to call which. He's going for Hendon, which is the iron route here. I always call this copper, don't I? Apologies, guys. I always get the two mixed up. But hopefully that should really increase the steel through here, which means we should probably also, on this little truck line that we set up, we should probably just add a couple of extra vehicles in here, shouldn't we? Do we double it? We've more than doubled production, I suppose, so we'll add those, and hopefully that'll start getting more steel to here, which means more of it will get diverted that's coming down from over at Frodsham. Not Frodsham, sorry, Prestwick. I did also, guys, by the way, in between episodes, is I've upgraded these trams just to increase the capacity up to 21. There's the version with the extra load on the back, just because the hold up here was the fact that we're not getting enough coal down at this end. So what I've done is I've added those extra trucks to those. I didn't add any more trams, just extra trucks. And then I did change some of these fuel and oil lines. So they've got the vehicles that look like they carry fuel, if you know what I mean. The tanker carriages. So hopefully that's one good way of making an improvement to it now. Now I wanted to do, what did we want to do? Have a look at the cargo trains themselves and see whether these are still fit for purpose. Because these have got the big American muscle on as well, haven't they? You can see the rust that I was talking about starting to appear on here as well. I was in two minds whether to upgrade these for now, but I think for now they're doing a job and they don't struggle. So the top speed of these is 50. And if we hit fast forward here, how long does it take these guys to get up to 50? Because these really do have a steep incline up through the hills. So I'm wondering whether it's... Where's this other train? Is the other train on its way down? It is, yeah, unfortunately. What I wanted to do is see how fast this goes up the hill. So we've hit 50 comfortably at the bottom. But if it starts to slow, is it worth? Now money's no longer an issue. The loan is completely paid off, and as you can see, we're into 50 million here. If we do start to slow down here, it might be worth us sticking. See, yeah, we are actually getting slowed down here, so let's see if we can replace these with some of the multiple units. Because we need, at the minute, what do we have? I think we had about 1,000, the FS744. FS74408. So it's 1,000 kilonewtons of tractive effort. See, now if we use one of these big heavy hitters here, now the carriages can only do 50, so we don't need to go too big on the speed. But if we look here like this L1 Mikado, 65 miles per hour, it's 2,000 kilowatts. And the price is 1.2 million a year. So what was the price of this one? 6. So it is double. It is double the cost. If it's going to keep that speed up, and now it's not an issue, it would be nice to have a bit of a different one. This Mikado's probably the one, isn't it? 50. Because we don't need this. There's no point in spending the 1.4 for 85 miles per hour. Well, there's one here. What's this? L1S Decapod. So that's 50 miles per hour, which is perfect for the top speed of our trucks. And it's actually 3,000 kilowatts. I think this is the one, guys. 13,000. A hooded doghouse. So it's got a bit of an extended tender here. So on the gallon tender, I'm not too sure the difference. Generic colourable. I don't want to colour it. I don't mind the Pennsylvania logos on these because these are going to be the ones that run from south to north eventually. So I don't mind some big muscle on these lines as well. I think I'm going to go with this 13,000 gallon tender because I like the sort of open bit with the doghouse, as it called, at the back there. So if we go for that, and then for the minute, I think we'll just simply copy what we have down here. So we have 4 tank cars, 4 box cars. Oh, we missed a tank car there. They've got to be laid out in the right order, haven't they? Otherwise, it'll be a bit annoying for us all. Or do we take this opportunity to add another one of each? Maybe we do, you know. Why not? We've got to reap the benefits somehow, haven't we? And then state car with sides. Well, we want 5 of these. There we go, so now we can have another look at that. Oh, yes. Now that is... I see why Danny really likes these. I mean, he's a little bit biased with him being from, you know, America himself, but... who doesn't love the steam age of steam engines? Do you know what I mean? These The Americans did do it better, didn't they? Look at that. Oh, there's a little engineer in here, look. That must be a horrible place to be for any long journeys. But cool, hopefully that increases the throughput of goods moving around anyway. There you go, Danny, you've been asking for some American trains, mate, so hopefully that fits the bill for you. Over at Middleham here, are we receiving goods yet? We have some ready to be delivered. So do we have any being taken into the town? Not just yet. Let's just make sure. Actually, they must be able to be delivered, otherwise these guys wouldn't be... it wouldn't have got delivered up here, would it? Can we take any goods? Not yet, it doesn't look like. See, I'm a little bit unsure, guys, and you might be able to tell me this. If there's a lot of one commodity waiting, so here now at the minute we have 400 combat and only 71 goods, will they take the one with the most first, or will they sort of switch between? What I don't want is for these guys to just constantly be carrying bricks. You can see, I mean, we only have 2 vehicles here for a start, so that's probably not great. I mean, if we change these as well for the new vehicles, we go for some Volvos here. Yeah, they've got 2 compartments, so they might even switch it up there. I may have just been too hasty there. No, they can carry both. Perfect. Okay. And I'm going to go for 6 there, because we have a lot of goods waiting. A lot of combat and goods waiting anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure whether they're just picking up bricks, because you can see the town here is absolutely demanding goods, and they've been delivered here, but it looks like they're just going to be picking up bricks, so we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. Maybe it is a case of they take the material that's in the most demand. Now, for this episode, guys, the main bulk, I mean, we're 15 minutes in nearly already here, and at the moment, we haven't really got started on the bulk of it, so what I wanted to do was move towards the north now. Obviously, we've talked about wanting a cargo hub up here near Silsden for all of this area, but I think it makes sense to have one sort of down by the river here near Hetton as well. There's so much resource around this area that we could bring in and add to the line, and then it could come up from the south here along the river into a cargo hub here, and then sweep around through the countryside here to Silsden. So I think today what I want to do is get in here. Now, what kind of cargo buildings do we have? It's not going to be a countryside one, is it? That's going to be a little bit too small, maybe. Warehouses, a long warehouse, this could work. But how many platforms do we have here? It looks like only 1 platform in there. But 2 depots, looks like train depots there. Long warehouse, 2 truck stops, with 2 rail and 2 truck stops. Okay, so if, just a little bit of a test here, if we add this, can we add more platforms? No, we can't. But are these separate platforms? There's a platform there and a platform here. And then they cross back onto the line. That's a very strange layout, but I quite like it, because we would run another line down here. We would just have to have a crossing point before. I'm not sure if I like that or not. And it ruins the sort of aspects. No, we're not gonna use that here. We might use it later. We've got here 1 to 3 stops, 2 truck stops. Okay, so it looks like here again we've only got 1 platform though. I mean, I suppose what we could do is have 2 of these back to back. If we were to have 1 of these now, where would we want it to be placed? I'm thinking sort of here-ish. So we turn this, we've got 250 metres, which is fine. Number of tracks 3. We can't go to 4. So I think 2 would be fine here actually. But we would want the stopping trap. If we're going to be heading north, we want the stopping track on the left, don't we? Yes, stopping track on the left. So we would go sort of here. I'm thinking maybe we could have a ship cargo harbour here, so I don't want to go too close to the river. But if we go here, and then the other thing is here, or do we put the truck stops in the middle? Have something like this. Now that is an idea I can get behind. We can't add more of these, can we? No, so if we want to do the thing we have been doing, we have to start like this. We want 30 metres. And then we're going to want to get this. I think we need to flatten the terrain here first a little bit. Okay, let's see what that does for us. If we go about middle, that looks about the middle to me. Now we can configure this. Okay. And then we want quite a few of these platforms, really, don't we? Because we don't know how many we're actually going to need at the end. We'll add another 3 down here. We want street access. Now, do we want this one way in, one way out? I don't think we're going to need it for this area, but I'm not sure yet. Because of where we want to put this other rail station, we want the tracks on the left-hand side so they can branch in. Of course, we're going to have to do something special here. Because the tracks are going to come in, the left side's going to come here, the right side's going to come out, and then they can bridge back together. So this road's going to have to go under or over with a bridge. We'll see. Let's sort of see what that would look like. So we're probably going to go into high speed now, aren't we? But we'd want to probably slow down coming into this. I think we'd probably have a bit of 50. So if I unselect this station, which one's the platform? So the platform's going to come from this end here. Ah, so it's impossible for me to connect to that at all. So I can connect at this and so these are terminus stations. Okay, so that's not what we wanted to do, is it? No, that's absolutely not what we wanted to do. But I like the idea of having this now we've done it. What else could we do to make this go through here? We could use the standard station still. We would only need the one connection now, but this will no longer connect this way. So we could have one here. Is this going to be in the middle still though? We're going to want to go up to 240. So that's nice and straight there. We'll go for high speed and we don't want catenary. Now we want the same again on this side. And then those tracks that we're talking about now. So we've got 50. We'll go for high speed here. We don't want catenary, or we'll say to keep. I want a kind of a nice long curve here. Same coming out of here. We'll go up to maybe 70 then. I'll tell you what, where do we want the main route to be? Probably if we put a marker in of here and we use these. If we can join up to here, then we can go south from here. 110 to start branching off. I quite like that. It's very wonky, isn't it? But I'll tell you what, let's redo that a little bit and see if we can get it to pull off a little bit later. I quite like how it raises up and moves away. But then does it just go up to go down again? It does. I'm sort of a fan of it, but sort of not. I can't make my mind up about that, whether I like it. Because then we've just got this flat area here. Do we just flatten this terrain out and have it nice and smooth? If we were to flatten this area, how would it look then? See, that already looks much better. I like that now. Yes, I like that. Okay. And then we're going to have to do the same the other side, I think. Just for continuity. Because I don't know what's going to have to come in to this side of the route and how we're going to get it in. But if we leave enough space for these to angle in like this to about the same point. Did we went to 110, didn't we? 110 out. And then again, we'll just hit this with the smooth all. There we go. I quite like that because it allows us then to, when we connect in, we're going to be able to have some routes. I mean, I'm tempted to do one of these now. But with this one being right next to the river this side, I think we're going to be connecting probably quite a bit in from this side of the river. So I wouldn't mind a nice bridge actually here. If we say we wanted to go up, dead straight up. Ooh, I'm not a fan of that though. And it doesn't like this. Okay, so now if we say flat here. No, we don't want to go over the river like that. Over the rail like that even. Can we make it build something respectable over the rail? I think it may be too close there still. So what we may have to do is pull this back a little bit. Come out a little bit further. Start the bridge here. We get to bridge start here. And then from here now we say flat. Oh, carry on bridging. Carry on bridging. There we go. I actually quite like that. I like the idea of the freight train just whizzing under here. That turns a little bit sharp, but it'll allow the vehicles to slow down before they get into that depot. And then it'll allow us to, once we're over this rail, to come down a little bit the other side. So if we were to want to connect into this bridge, I'll tell you what, if we were to come over to here and go over this road, it's a weird dip in the middle of that bridge, that isn't there? I don't know why we're doing this. I'm not sure why it's dipping the other side. If we were to come here, would it give us that flat? Yeah, so it gives us that nice and flat. Okay, so we'll go for that, and then I want to delete it from here. And then I want to mirror what's happening the other side now. To come out, straight down, and then hopefully we can get some land like we have the other side. We'll turn this brush size down a little bit. Hopefully this plays ball here. Is this going to get the idea of what we're after? In a fashion. If I put that in and then smooth the ground, does that work? No, it doesn't. Okay. So we do need to play with this terrain a little bit. It's not going to let me do that because it won't bring the terrain up to the road. Okay. So we're going to have to pull from here. Or I wonder if we start at the bottom. So if we start here and we just drag it from the bridge. There we go. That's more like what we wanted. But maybe more of a gentle join in. Something like this. It doesn't like clipping onto the end of the bridge. There we go, that's perfect. So now we sort of have that route through from the town area here all the way through and round. We can get ships under, we can get rail under, and we can connect into this side. We might have an underpass out towards here. In fact, shall we do that now as well? So if we were to go down here, a nice gradual descent. Just until it breaks. There we go. And then flat. Come under and then hopefully get a nice straight connect here. We only have the one tunnel entrance at the moment. There we go, so now we've got double entries to here. Okay, so that kind of works, I think. That's one cargo connected, and we can already set a delivery line up into Hetton, because from down south we are actually already making combat and food, aren't we? So if we were to set up a truck stop in Hetton, I mean, do we just upgrade Hetton from the off? I think we might as well. Do we go medium street and we say bus lane? Yes. Coming in from the countryside where we will be going if we were to upgrade this, we're probably going to want a loop through the town. I think these main routes, we see where we need to deliver on this bottom line. Yeah, so it is, we will just do a loop around here. So if we go back in and we actually, let's say bus lane no here, we'll take that off. So we can just come around this loop and then back out of town. I think that makes sense there. We've got the bus lane. What we might do is where I want to put the stop here, let's just put it as a large street. Oh, it's going to get rid of a lot though. It's going to have to be that one. Just so that when I put this truck stop down now, we don't block the traffic through the middle of the town, but we will have 100% coverage there. So we're going to need a truck depot, aren't we, at this top end of town, a road depot. I think we'll put this out in the sticks here. I don't like what it's doing to the terrain there, actually, so maybe we go just outside of town here, outside of the coal mine. Okay, so for now, I just want one delivery truck that can do everything. We'll go with two, because the first truck that does deliver will bring up quite a bit, I think. So we want this one to go from Hetton West. We want to do the same thing we've done with all of the other cargo depots here, and say that this can pick up from any of the platforms at the train station, and then it can drop off at Hetton. Okay, now that is going to be RF for road freight, RF, and it's going to be Hetton deliveries, and then we'll give it a slightly better colour so we can see what's happening. Perfect. Okay, sweet. So that's that set up. Now we obviously need the trains running down here. So for now, I'm going to pause it and we're going to connect this rail. And we're going to go pure high speed. I don't know what the difference in speed is. So that'd be, so 300 is vanilla, is it? Yeah, 300 is vanilla, so we can actually go faster. I don't think we're going to be getting 186 anytime soon, until sort of pretty much late game, I would imagine. So I think, where are we going to run it from? It might be better to build this from south to north, thinking about it. We're going to have to get rid of these connections for this depot here just for now, whilst we send these links out. So I want these out nice and straight out of the station, just to make things a bit simpler. And then we'll use the normal track to just connect these back in. And then we're going to have to put a couple of signals, aren't we? I think we'll go for the newer signals here. So we're going to want it on this side and this side. And then if one was to come this way, we would want it there. Okay, cool. And then we can go for it. So vanilla track. I want to head up and then sort of follow along the edge of the river. Looks like I don't have the mod that I used to use to automatically do a second track next to it. I think it's called parallel tracks mode. Now we do need to hop over the river at some point. This here looks like a prime candidate really. So if we maybe just pull this back a little bit, we try and make it a little bit more realistic. If we were to start heading up the hillside here, maintaining that speed, then from here slowly start to arc around the bend, and then we want to keep this level without going downhill. So from here I'm going to go for the open bridge across the water there. Bridge mods aren't something that I have a lot of, I have to admit, but I think it's also because of the year that we're in. We are still only in 1937 here. Get this to be a nice, long, drawn-out route down and then start heading back towards the river itself. We can go down a bit more than that. Well, maybe not yet. I thought maybe we could. But we'll come round the bend here. And we'll pull the end of this track round to here. Cool. And then these guys should be able to... no. I do want this to hug the terrain as much as possible. And not deform the landscape as much as possible. But unfortunately, it looks like here it is just very dippy. And this is going to be the main run. So do we move the terrain? I think we do, because it is nice and flat at this end. So for here we pull down, and then let's see. So it is pretty smooth actually, the descent, which means also the incline on the way back will be, which is the more important thing. We want to keep that top speed of 186 as we turn this way, round the bend. And we need to think, I think we're going to have to delete this road, aren't we? This is going to be right in the middle of everything that we want to do. If I get left-hand track there to left-hand track, do we keep the 186? We do. Perfect. Then we can connect that there. And then we need to get some old road, which actually we can't do anymore. So I think we will just keep the road connection here as long as it doesn't look horrendous. Which, no, that actually looks not too bad. But that, on the other hand, does not. Okay. Autosave popping in. Yeah, so that junction looks fine. Happy with that junction. So that's this connected. So if we're saying on the way up for the minute, we're only going to have this one stop. So on the way up, we want to stop on the left-hand side. So we do need, for now, a crossover on the way back, don't we? So we will need a signal here. Now I'm going to want auto sig, and we're going to say every 500 meters. I'm going to go from, well, I want one just before the road and one just after the road. They don't put the automatic signals down. So now, it has done actually on the way down the track, which is helpful. So now here, just outside of the station, if we put this one on this side, it should mirror that all the way back up. Yes, 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 yes. But now we're obviously going to be adding another stop here, but this train is only going to bring up, for the minute, construction materials and food. So it might be worth us just spending a bit of time and adding some in. So if I could take some, I know coal we're really struggling for actually, aren't we? So if we could put a small little truck stop over here. I just want something small, really. Have we got a small truck stop? I could do with some good looking small truck stops, really. Where we just have, where we only need one. It would make a lot of sense. I think here we can join in. That'll do. And then from here, what we are going to need is something that can carry some coal here. And I'm going to go for, I think we'll start with 8. Put these from here and we'll say RF for road freight. I need to click the name first, don't I? RF for road freight, and this is Hetton coal. And then the next station is going to be the train station where we tell it absolutely every platform. So at least now the train's going to be taking something back. But we need to add that in. So we need to say for the cargo line. So it's going from Lumley to Padstow. After Padstow, we want this to come all the way up. Here, where we can tell it can do whatever it wants, load and unload whatever. And then on the way back down again, where do we need coal? I mean, we don't actually need coal, but what we can tell it to do is to stop at Padstow. So this first stop at Padstow will actually change to platform 2. And then on the way back, so after Hetton, stop at Padstow again, and we'll tell it load whatever. Or what do we tell it at Padstow the first time? So we're going to want the same option. So we just have machines at 40%. I can't remember why we did that. We did that for a reason. I'll have to have a look into that and remember why we did it. But so it's exactly the same as what's happening now, basically on the way up. But we're going to say on the way through Padstow at the first time, before it goes to Hetton, you can load pretty much anything, but only 40% machines if you want to. It could load the 100% bricks and food that were needed up there. Okay, good. But it's screwed up here, hasn't it? So on the way back, we want Terminal 1. There we go. Okay. So now it begs the question, we've just added a lot of distance to the route. Do we go the whole hog here and add another train? I think we do. I think we do. I think we go for it. It'll come out of here. First one's on its way down. So what I want to do now is see, do we have the demand for these? So at the construction materials factory, can we see, we can see Hetton already. So that's working, that's all set up. Food factory, where was the food factory? By Prestwick. Prestwick, consumers, Hetton, yes. So it's ramping up. We might need a few more trucks on here now to deal with the demand. And this train here might need an upgrade eventually. So he's on his way back and we've got 166. Yes, pause. We need to upgrade this train massively. Massively. So at the moment, this does, what, 31 miles per hour. So what do we have? What was this shunter? That was 35. So that's an upgrade, but it can pull a hell of a lot more, can't it, these shunters? If I remember rightly, this little shunter we have has 300 kilowatts, yeah. This is 500. So shall we go for a different one here? Seashore lines? We're not really on the seashore though, are we? Futura lettering. I think that's just what's on it. Long Island. Washington Terminal. We'll go for Washington Terminal, eh? Let's have a look at that. And then at the minute, how much are we carrying? 40 bread. Okay, so we're going to want to add a fair bit to this, I think. I mean, this is on wait till full, right? It's mediocre speed. But I do think in the long run that's worth having. It is going to be a problem because of the length of that station, isn't it? It's going to take a long time to load, but it looks like we've got space for one more. One person. Why has that got a 1? Is that something to do with the train model? Why do we have a 1? Space of 1. So what I'm going to have to do there is type that Prestwick cargo, it doesn't wait for a full load. It's just going to have to load if available. Because otherwise it's going to keep waiting for that 1. Man. That could be a problem. We'll keep an eye on that anyway and just see, because that might be too much now. We might need to lower it to about 70 or so for it to be constantly running. Might make a bit more sense. But right guys, let's have a look at what we're doing money-wise. So, Middleham delivery is losing us 800,000. The Hendon ore lines are massively losing us money as well now. Why are we losing money? Oh, again, it's this. Right, okay, pause. So this shunter, we have a problem with the shunters. The train itself has a passenger capacity of 1 person, so we can't tell it. We can only tell it to load if available. Okay, so that will get those running. Hetton Coal at the minute is running. Why do we have no demand? Do these trains... I know what it is. These trains are unable to carry ore. So I'm going to add 5 ore lines to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should, this Prestwick steel mill's just kicked in, should now allow us to start producing coal. So I fully expect this to be losing us money for the near future, just until that all balances out, but we'll keep an eye on it. This guy here is coming back with 35 construction materials. I think it's these... It's all of these huge American trains costing us so much money to run, I think. We might have to have a look at this and see whether we need to swap them back until we're at the later game making a hell of a lot of money. For now, guys, that's where we're going to leave it for today. So as always, thanks a lot for joining me. If you've enjoyed this one, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It looks like at the minute about 40% of the viewers are subscribed. So if you're enjoying the content and you're not subscribed, please do hit the button. It really helps me out. But failing that, thanks again for watching, and I will catch you all in that next video.
I guess it wasn't meant